Thanks for watching the Counsel in Brief. I'm Susan Kennedy. We're here with the news of the Montgomery County Council for this third week in March. And we begin this time with council reaction to the county executive's newly released operating budget for the next fiscal year. The $4.97 billion budget puts more police officers on the street, expands job creation efforts, and includes record spending for the schools.
The budget that I am recommending today.
Council members were on hand as Mr. Leggett presented his plan for financing county government for fiscal year 2015. As the county continues to recover slowly from the effects of a nationwide recession, Council President Craig Rice says Leggett's approach is prudent.
You know, the county executive laid out a great framework for us. Certainly understanding education is important and funding them at 99 and some extra percentage points towards their full funding ask. Montgomery College. Funding Montgomery College above the level of maintenance of effort. Not at the same level as what we've seen with MCPS, but certainly a start. And so we might need to be looking at a few things that we might need to do there additional to kind of help them.
The biggest area of spending in this year's budget is in the schools. The proposal exceeds the maintenance of effort requirement by $26 million and requires the school system to spend $11 million of its own unspent funds on fiscal year 2015 operations. Though council members acknowledge the schools need to advocate for funding, the council has dozens of other agencies to consider when making up the budget.
This is a good year, and the executive branch has done a good and thoughtful job making its recommendations, and now our work begins. We'll take our responsibilities very seriously. We'll go through the budget line by line between now and the end of May, but it's a good starting point.
Once again, Councilmember Phil Andrews is concerned with the size of pay increases for unionized county employees and his decision to retain the energy tax.
The second year in a row of 6 3/4 to 9 3/4 pay raises are excessive. And out of line with what other folks are getting. And they require higher taxes than on the energy tax. Keeping that energy tax at a very high level is what the county executive is proposing, which is causing problems for us economically in terms of our competitiveness. So we need to take the energy tax rate down. We should reduce the pay increases to a reasonable level so they're sustainable and more in line with what other jurisdictions are doing.
In other news, the Council's Office of Legislative Oversight has released a report that studies change orders in construction projects to see if the county is being as cost-effective as possible in building facilities. The report examines the process and describes how change orders affect the cost and schedule of recently completed projects.
There was a lot of interest in this report because of the Silver Spring Transit Center issue, but we decided it was important to take a look at the broad program. And you know what this report demonstrates is that when it comes to projects that we're very comfortable and we do in a repetitive fashion, such as libraries or schools in general, etc., we do very well. Obviously, there's some that stand out, and these are the ones that we don't have a lot of experience with. These are unusual types of projects, and so we need to take a look at that and figure out if there are ways that the county government needs to perhaps take on a different approach, a totally different way of executing those types of projects.
The council has approved 4 measures that focus on the conservation of county trees. Each of the bills deals with specifics associated with the implementation of tree canopy and roadside tree protection bills that were approved by the council last year.
We really struggled with our tree replacement program, and the more trees that come down without an intention, without our planning on taking them down, the bigger the deficit we have. So what we're trying to do is make sure that they fall less frequently, and when they do come down, that we have a program to put replacements in their stead, and also to put appropriate replacements in their stead, because if the issue is growing up through power lines, you don't want to plant another tree which is going to grow up through the power lines. So we think it's a real net positive for the county.
Well, that does it for this edition of the Council in Brief. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for tuning in.